Hi guys, welcome back to the More Sibyl Podcast. For those that are just joining us for the first time, my name is Mal. My full name is Motolani Eniola Ogunsoya. That's my full legal governmental name, but I go by More Sibyl as my brand name and my nom de plume I create with that name. Either ways, you can call me Mo or Tolani. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you stay for a long time, and we hope you stay for a very long time. And for our veterans, welcome back to season 4, and thank you for being with us every step of the way. I'm so excited to kick off season 4 of the show. It was just 3 years ago we started, and look at how far we've come with over 140 episodes. We certainly won't have gotten so far without you guys, so thank you so much. And apologies for my voice. I've been battling with allergies. I want to say bad allergies, but they're not good allergies. So this is actually a lot better than how it was last week. But all in all, thank you for bearing with me. Just a couple of announcements before we roll into what's in for today. We have moved the podcast host from Anchor to Podbean. And so please check out Podbean. And it's spelled Pod, P-O-D, and then Bean, B-E-A-N. There's also an app associated with that platform so you can get the episodes on the go. Subscribe on Podbean because it helps us to grow our listenership. And don't forget, as always, to share the episodes as well. So, new episode, new Mo. I'm making a video as well as an audio production of this episode. I tried to push the envelope a little bit. For those that don't know me, I'm very uncomfortable in front of the camera. So hence this awkward tension between myself and my phone, which I'm currently using to record the video portion of it. So it's been some months since the show has been on a hiatus. We take a creative break from December to April. And I understand that it's not like the best option for a podcast because we get a lot of emails and phone messages and also phone calls and WhatsApp messages. Why are you guys on break? When are you coming back? I haven't gotten an episode push in a while. Well, it's always necessary because we take that time to reflect deeply on the direction for the new episode, for the new season. It also helps to get new guests. I spend the majority of that time for my creative podcast process to listen to other podcasts as well, to see how we can do cross-collaboration and even guests we can expand on their story. So while the podcast itself might be on a break, we're still, we're working behind the scenes to make sure that we are still creating content that will be able to help our community grow. And we still have our engagement on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and all that kind of stuff. So bear with us. And as someone that has a full-time job, the break is much needed to focus on other aspects of my life, and so I can come back bigger and better. So it might change in the future as far as the length of the break, but for now, I'm glad that we're sticking it. So on a personal level, what have I been up to since December? Well, I was super excited about the new year because I love something about Christmas that I love so much. And the beginning of the year, initially, way back in the days, I used to have a lot of anxiety with New Year's because it was just so much pressure to either adopt new practices or stop some stuff. But the older I got, the more reflective I became. I just stuck it to, you know what, it's a new day. It's an opportunity to do something new, but don't force yourself, don't pressure yourself. So since January, it's just, I've been focusing on just, creating stuff, my writing, also my job as well. Grant season is really around the corner, so meeting up with collaborators, also carrying out my research. So for those who don't know me, I have a full-time job as an assistant professor of pharmacy, and I do research on lupus and cancer. And currently I have a fund that was I have a research that was funded by the Department of Defense, which is one of the largest departments here in the US, to look at the quality of lives of Black prostate cancer survivors. So yes, that has really taken a lot of my time. I've also spent that time just working on my goals for the year. If you don't know, I have a bullet journal, which it's somewhere in my bag. I can't get it now, but I do have a bullet journal that has made me to be more intentional about not just designing my future, but also tracking my past and ordering my present. And so I put some goals there, like health goals, fitness goals, relationship goals, financial goals. So I have really been very intentional about that. So that's what I've been spending my time on. I'm also spending a little bit of time with my husband. Just finding ways where we can, strengthen our relationship. I made some personal goals to, do certain things this year with my husband to kind of strengthen our relationship. And so far so good. There's still a lot of areas of improvement because I tend to just want to keep to myself most of the time and just be on my laptop and create stuff or watch stuff. Of course, that doesn't really help in the marriage, but we're finding ways to spend time together. So one of the things we did this year, and kudos to him by the way, was to start going to spas together. And the first time we tried it was December. We used to go before, like, to do nails and all that, but this time, like, full body massage, the whole, fireworks and all that. And we did it in December, and it turned out to be a lot of fun. And so he made it a monthly stuff. He gets on my calendar, and then we find a time that works. And then we call the spa. We actually have a membership in the local spa here. And I think it's also a nice time to kind of do stuff together. So we have a sauna, hot tub massage, the tissue massage, and all that. So just a suggestion for couples out there. One of the many things you can do. And he really needs it because he works so hard. I work hard as well, but my job, thankfully for me, I've been able to work from home. He has to drive and he's always on the move, seeing patients, bend it down. So his job takes a strain on his body. So that's one of the things we're doing. What else did I spend my time doing? Just, communicating with friends, keeping in touch with families, and also decide to make some really significant changes to my diet this year. So I didn't start that in January because I wanted January to be gone. So it won't be like New Year resolution. I have been working a lot on just my health. I got to a point where I realized that, okay, I don't want to be just the chubby person anymore. I understand that my body type tends to, be conformed to the chubby nature, but I wanted to, be more fit. I think that was my goal. It wasn't really about losing weight. It was fitness. I wanted to, be more fit and not have to pant if I'm running. So February, 2 years ago, I actually began running, but I've stopped because of, I have flat feet and I've not really been able to get quite the right kind of shoes. And I found I was really damaging my heels and it was triggering my plantar fasciitis, which, I've had for a while, but it's gotten better now. I don't have a lot of flares anymore. So what do I do recently? Well, I juice like for my breakfast and lunch, and then I have a whole meal for dinner. And dinner is when I really, really get to maximize all of my grains and, eat my carbs and also eat, things that I like my proteins. And for some of you that follow my WhatsApp stories, you've probably seen a lot of my cooking. And so because I only cook once a day now, it's made life considerably easier. I don't skip breakfast anymore because I've already had my juice prep done for Sunday. So I juice on Sundays and I store them in mason jars in my fridge for the whole week. And so that's helps my lunch and my breakfast. And that has really helped me. I've also began working out every day, 5 to 6 times a week. And shout out to my friend Linda. We get on a Zoom call together. We started actually the first week of February. And it's been 7-8 weeks now of just consistent working out. We focus on all aspects of the body, the abs, the full body conditioning, Tabata, stretches. Oh my gosh, stretches go a long way. Even if you cannot even do any of those, aerobic exercises, stretch your body. Like you need to make sure your muscles are tearing and they're broken down so you can get to the goals that you need. So that's what I've really been working on, and I cannot believe that exercise could be something that was very consistent. I mean, I used to work out in the past, but it wasn't consistent. I would just maybe an hour-long workout twice a week, and that was it. But now I'm doing 30 minutes every day, 5 to 6 days a week. I will take a break on Sunday, and on Saturday we actually just dance. We pick a video on YouTube and just dance. It's not about the technique; it's just about having fun. So shout out to my friend Linda for setting this up, and because I got to a point where I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this I have to stop. Like it wasn't cutting anymore. I've had a lot of health issues, and I've also undergone a lot of fertility treatments that made me put on a lot of weight, and with that came depression and just not even caring a lot about my body. And so I wanted to seize that narrative back and tell myself, you know what, just try your best and see what you can do. And because the best decision you can make right now is how can you prevent yourself from get a lot of those metabolic issues in the future. So that was a personal goal for me. Like I said, it wasn't about losing weight, it was just about, doing the best to make myself more healthy. So that's what I've been working on. So let me know if you also have some fitness goals, how that has been going for you, and how I can help you. And on the spiritual side of things, ever since I shared publicly about my sexual abuse story as a child, it's given me a lot of freedom to, talk to people. I have counseled a lot of people on the side. You don't really get to hear their stories because they're still, ongoing. I've also had people reach out to me on unrelated issues, but just by virtue of me being vulnerable in my story. And I'll say that there was still some aspect of it that hadn't gone away, and that was still body shaming. Um, for the most part, I've been good with, you know what? Let me know. Let me just be very honest here. Um, I don't know if you're like me. You walk into a room and you always see yourself as the fat person. I don't know. It used to be a lingering thought, but then it became like the forefront. And so I would try to like tell jokes or make people laugh or, you know, try and like, carry on high level high quality conversations just to dispel from the fact of, what is in front of you. And and I think I know that I didn't totally accept my body, and but I don't know why that like just being the way I was, like as far as being fat, was always one thing I would describe myself as. It was just that inner dialogue that I constantly had about myself. Even when people didn't see that, that was the first thing I always saw about myself. And so I had to like start thinking about how to really get rid of that because it wasn't healthy and it wasn't fair to myself to think about myself that way. And I'm sure not everybody will see you. The first thing they will see is just, oh my gosh, she's fat. I mean, so maybe they might, but why does that matter to you? Like, you have to be the one to live with your body. And most people don't even know what you're going through. So I needed to start, finding out the source of that. So I went for Christians here. I did a deliverance session and also went through some counseling. I'm also still in therapy just to find out what, just that last piece because I didn't think I was honoring my body definitely by all those talks I was having about it. And I wasn't honoring God as well. So I want to encourage people like me. Perhaps you really had it with your weight. You struggle with weight issues. But for whatever reason or the other, I hope you can use this dialogue to encourage yourself that wherever you need to get to be, please start working on it. Don't rush it. Little steps, little changes. And in the meantime, love yourself. Not in that kind of cheesy self-love kind of way, but be thankful for the body you have. That is your body and it's protected you a lot. Sometimes I've had people just say, oh my God, why is so much weight? You have no idea I just had a miscarriage or that fertility treatment that we spent thousands of dollars and, injections and hormones and all that failed. I'm still battling, that lack of just that self-worth issues with fertility issues. So what you see is not necessarily what's really going on. You have no idea what people are going through. So please be gentle with your words. We get it. We know we are fat. We know we can say it. I just talked about that some seconds ago. But we can't reach your words. You don't know what someone else is going through. You don't know what can push them over. I'm quite strong emotionally. But I'll tell you that some words have really stayed. And I have had to forgive people for things they've said to me, especially Africans. Please just stop that. You have no autonomy on people's bodies. If you're concerned about their health, unless they haven't come to meet you to say, hey, I have these health issues, you really have no right to be talking to people about their weight. Please keep it. What are you trying to prove? That you've seen something and you want to correct it? You think they don't know already? So if your words are not defined, please don't hurt people with your words. Nobody likes, a goody two shoes or someone who knows it all. Sorry, that's what I was trying to go for. Kind of went on a tangent there, but that was very important stuff. So what am I working on these days? I think it's just authenticity. Authenticity, that's a very hard word. As always, the way we do things on the show is to be very truthful about our processes. And so in this season, new season on the podcast, it's not going to be any different. We will still keep sharing bold stories. We'll still keep sharing stories to connect people and communities together. And so yeah, that's the new year so far. I think has been one of being intentional about life. I'm so thankful to be alive. I think when I turned 30, that was a big moment for me because I didn't think I was going to live past 30. And I've talked about this in previous episodes about just how I had this fascination with death, and I didn't think I was going to live out that long. And it started when I was younger, and all of the things I had gone through, and I just wasn't sure I was going to reach 30. So reaching 30 was almost like a bonus for me. I do know now that that's not God's plan for my life. I know that whenever He calls me home, I'll be fine. But death is not something I should be afraid of or obsessed with. It's not healthy. So I'm lucky to be alive, and I'm thankful to be alive. I don't want to make the best use of my time. I still really, do a lot of self-flagellation about just how much impact I'm making. I really don't think I'm using all my talents very well, and I've talked about this on my Facebook post as well about how I've remained hidden in certain areas. So one of the things I'm also exploring with my therapist and my mentor is how do I shine my light more? How do I, not for the sake of making people feel uncomfortable around my achievements, dim my light? Somebody might need, to be encouraged by what I've achieved. How do I, show them my processes as well? So there's a big story that you'll be hearing about me sometime in this season. I'm not going to talk about it now because I'm still exploring that. I'm going to need Jesus, the whole Trinity, plus the help of my mentor and my therapist to finally set that story free. But it's coming. And when I share it, I will link back this moment, on that. So the world is beginning to open up again. Myself and T-Dog, that's my husband. For those that don't know who T-Dog is, you'll probably get to hear a little bit about him on the podcast. We have gotten our vaccines. We got the Pfizer one, and we did that. We concluded that last month, and so far so good. We still wear a mask to protect ourselves. We tend to avoid super crowded places that people are not taking precautions. But we have our big trip coming up next month. Actually, this month in 2 weeks' time. We are going to see some friends up in the mountains and hope to get some, fresh air and oxygen. And so if you follow my posts on Instagram or Facebook or my WhatsApp stories, so watch out for more adventures. Now, so happy birthday to the More Sibyl Podcast. That's why I'm wearing a birthday hat. It's 4 years today, literally today, April 5th, 2021. At the time of this recording, we clocked 4 years. Actually, 4th season, 3rd year anniversary of the podcast. And so last season's episode, oh my goodness, that was a roller coaster. There's so many, I guess, episodes that really jived with our community. We could tell the way you guys, reacted to them, the shares, the retweets, the DMs, the emails, the engagement, download rates, of course, and the listenership. So just a little bit of a recap of those ones we did on secrets. The 4-part episode on secrets, with Yinka's story of divorce, with Raquel's story on sex abuse, mine, and also Adelaku story, and of course the one I did with Iyanu on marriage, and that was a very loaded episode. Everyone liked it, and so so just wanted to recap on those wonderful moments we had. So this year there's going to be more of that stuff. Maybe not the same topics, but there's really nothing new under the sun, but just more stories to keep engaging with our audience. I think for me, what have I gained from just, being behind the microphone and sharing stories? I think it's being more empathetic to things around me. I'm a can-do kind of person, and I tend to sometimes take life in a stride because I do have a capability of getting things done. But because of just things I've gone through, I've had to slow down a little bit and really be sitting with people who might be going through sufferings. So that's one of the things I've gained from the show. When I hear stories of people who have gone through a lot, but you don't even have an idea, that really, makes me reflect a lot on I need to be more sympathetic and more empathetic to what people are going, because you never know until they tell you. Another thing for me is just shedding those layers of vulnerability. Heck, you've heard a lot about me, on the show. You heard about, losing babies, of not being able to get pregnant naturally. You've heard about sexual abuse. You've heard about body confidence. You know so much about me, and it wasn't just talking about those issues on the show. They were not easy things to talk about. I'll tell you that, because nobody wants to come on and start talking about, things that are so deeply personal like that, without preparing yourself. And I really don't care what you, especially for the naysayers and all that, if you don't really understand where I'm coming from, you might be quick to just turn your nose like, she shares too much. Well, thank you very much. I do share too much. I know that. And it might help you to know that my mom sometimes is not very comfortable about some things I talk about. But there's one person that I know has to be very comfortable if I can talk about things, and that's my husband, because I know he's a very private person, and I definitely don't want to put him at a place where he's uncomfortable with things I'm sharing. Because as much as the stories are mine, they're also his, and I don't want them to reflect poorly on him. So best believe that as a couple, we've talked about this. Case in point, to be able to finally share the story of my miscarriage. This was 2018 that I talked about that episode. To be able to get to that point, it took me 4 years of being able to say, I'm ready. And him saying, okay, go ahead with it. Even though we don't have a case to show for it yet, he said it was okay. And why I asked him later on, why did you agree to, have me share the story? He said, because I've noticed that when you write about stuff, when you talk about stuff, it's therapy for you. And if that helps you, it helps me as well. And so, I just want to say thank you so much to T-Dog, my husband, for, being supportive. So that's one of the things I've learned from the show is some things will happen to you in life, whether by virtue of things you do to yourself or that happens to you or that is done to you by others. One of the things I don't want you to hold on to is shame. Whether it was something you caused directly to yourself or indirectly. Shame is such a useless emotion, but I understand it. It's natural. It's a natural reaction. But don't bask in it. Don't let it be the soundtrack of your life. And I've had shame hold me back in so many areas. I know a lot of you will be surprised to hear this. Oh my gosh, no, I wouldn't have, thought that about you. Trust me, I know Shame very well. I used to know her very well. She was someone that, lives, by me. We share the same bed, woke up with me, was always there. But not anymore because, all is forgiven, man. Confessing your sins as a Christian, I believe in that. And just exploring just why you're letting that hold you back through therapy. So I have used a combination of stuff. And so what you see on the podcast is really the victories, that have had to battle in-house. And I want to thank every one of my supporters, my friends, my family, not even supporters, scratch that, my friends and families, yourself, for, speaking word to life to my life, word of life to me, to speaking, those life-giving words, to me, to really help me get to where I am today. And for all of you who've shared your stories, you have no idea just how much it's encouraging people like me to be more bold in our stories. So I want to encourage you that you're listening. What's holding you back? What's that one thing you've let? How is shame really affecting you? We're not supposed to stay hidden. We're supposed to shine our lights. Now, not everybody has to get on the mic and talk as a podcaster. But what's that story that you're holding back that can set somebody else free? That's how I want to live my life. If I die today, I want to live knowing that I want to be remembered that I gave it all. I didn't let anything hold me back. I didn't let shame particularly hold me back. That's that's one of the things I'm really praying that I achieve. And I'm also getting bolder and confident. I think that's one of the virtues of having this platform is that I can approach almost anybody. When I started, oh my gosh, shout out to Fiona, by the way, our very first guest. I remember just that episode was just like asking her about her favorite food, what school was like. I mean, those are like simple vanilla questions. And they had this time and place. I'm not gonna, hate on my past self. No, I had to start somewhere. So I've grown a lot. The quality of stories, the boldness to pursue people whose stories are really, really, difficult stories. But then I guess because I've done my own assignment, I've shared of myself, I'm able to ask, hey, can I be a part of this? How can we support you? How can we make people not go through the same thing you went through? Things like that. So I had to clean up my own house. It's one of the things I'm doing. Just also a recap of some of the awards for last season. Episode with the most listens was the one with Iyanu, my sister, what no one tells you about marriage. She's going to be back. I'm trying to bring her back again. This time around, we're going to do a double pairing, myself and my husband Taiwo, and then Kenny and Ian. We're gonna just talk about our relationship, right? What marriage is really about. So get ready for some laughs and hopefully no cries. But I'm not gonna guarantee that. Then episode with the highest download last year was the one with Enyi Ribe, a big one on identity, becoming the writer, and other stories. So go check out those episodes, and then just honorable mentions to Patricia Keo, Patricia Amotarishe, Patricia Chobella Checkis. I have a lot of Patricia surrounding me, and they're super supportive. Of course, Linda Jenner. Linda Jenner is our most engaged listener, and she was the person of the year. Linda is anytime I have an episode out, she would text, "Oh my gosh, great job!" Even when she's yet to listen to it, she's always, having like words of encouragement to say. And runner-ups were, Yvonne of the Beautiful Mind podcast and also Tutu Popola. So, with every season comes a new level of boldness and vulnerability. And the goal for this season is really to drive authentic conversations with our guests as we talk about their journeys. So get ready for diverse guests, for deep conversations, for taboo topics, of course. These are my fun stuff to talk about. Poke the beer a little bit because, I don't care. I care, but you know what I mean. Inspirational stories all mixed with a fine blend of guests, of fun and laughter. We are always in the business of sharing stories. So if you have a story that you like to feature on the show, it doesn't have to be scandalous, guys. It could be something you think somebody might learn from, or just your own story, as simple as it is or as difficult as it is. Please let us know. Just send us an email at talktomore@moresibyl.com. And please, there's always that room for opportunity to grow. So if you have any feedback for the show, please let me know. I'm soliciting that publicly. Feedback is feedback. It doesn't have to be, even if you think, oh, she might be sad or she might be worried. No, if it's to grow the podcast, I'm all for this. So please send it my way. And we also have before that, your engagement keeps us going. So let us know what we're doing to keep interacting with us, in the comment section, DMs, our newsletters as well. And we also have an ongoing survey. We want to know how best to serve you. You also stand the chance of winning a gift card when we do the final draw. So please check out the show notes for the link to that survey. It's very quick, less than 5 minutes, or even 2 minutes if you're as quick as I am. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate your listenership over the years. You've helped me grow a lot. You've helped me find a purpose in my life. You saved my life a lot, and I don't want to cry today. I don't want camera. You saved my life a lot. Thank you. Thank you for, I don't know why I cry when I do monologues. Thank you, Mo. I don't have clinics yet. Well, sorry. Oh, I hope my mascara doesn't run. So, thank you for helping me get here. Helping us get here, actually. Personally, for me, I've changed a lot. My outlook on life has changed. My inner processes have changed. I'm more than convinced that doing life alone, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. There's so many people out there who are going through a lot, and your words, you coming on the show, or even just talking about some of these issues, might be what will save them from jumping off the ledge. So I don't take this for granted. This is as important to me as any other thing I do. Is why I'm so committed to it. But I wouldn't have gotten this far without you. So thank you for all of the ways you've helped to contribute to the making of this show. Thank you for the engagement. I know some of you don't have the strength to listen all the time. Even if it's just a couple of episodes here and there, you mean a lot to the show. Thank you. But please don't forget to keep sharing, to keep, letting people know about the show. If there's any community you think we can impact or any cause we can support, please let us know. As much as the podcast is for talking, our biggest goal is to engage the community and give back as well. So if there are causes you think that might be a good fit for the show to sponsor, financially or otherwise, please let us know. I do have a lot of wonderful supporters, and we've done that in the past to raise money and awareness for causes, so we're still in the business with that. And just want to say thank you for that, for your presence and continued listenership over the years. Without you, there's no podcast, guys. So we look forward to seeing you at our next birthday party. And finally is calls for sponsors. A podcast takes a lot to run. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. And I have a Patreon page, which, I haven't been very proactive about asking for donations. But there's so many things that I'm working on right now that has a lot of impact on the community. There's a lady with, 3 young kids who were trying to set up a business for, myself and a friend. And as more time goes on, I'll share more details. If there's any way you'd like to support that cause, please let us know. We still have our education funds going to help indigent children in Nigeria get back to school. And that was a fundraiser I did for my third birthday, which was almost 2 years ago. and that money is still rolling out to help kids, go through school. So there are many ways you can support the show, but I'm also calling for sponsors, people who might have a product that might want to collaborate with the podcast. Please let us know. Um, Emphasis on locally owned. No, well, you know what? You got the money, you got the sponsorship and products. Please let us know how we can collaborate. Our listeners tend to be people who are culturally curious. They tend to be highly intellectual people, not super highly intellectual, but people who are very curious to grow in their own lives, and people who are wanting to learn one thing or two to also improve their processes. So yeah, this was it, guys. 30 minutes mark is gone, and so stay tuned for episodes coming out every Thursday. Now we're on Podbean. Remember, you won't find us on Anchor anymore. We're on Podbean. Go check us out. And if you have any feedback, please let us know. You can also check out the website www.moresibyl.com. On there, there's a contact me form if you want to reach out to me to maybe ask a question or be on the show. And you can also follow us on Instagram at the More Sibyl Podcast. TheMoreSibyl Podcast. I'm also on email as talktomo, TARKTOMO, and Mosibyl, MOSIBYL.com. As always, this is Mo. Thank you so much for listening, and catch you guys on another episode of the More Sibyl Podcast. And you can say,